Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making a delicious, creamy and cheesy broccoli casserole. This broccoli casserole is really going to stand out from the rest as we're using fresh ingredients, nothing out of a can, delicious aromatics and fresh herbs to really make it stand out from the rest. We're also going to be using a secret ingredient to give complexity and nuttiness and texture to this dish. So let's get cooking. So for today's broccoli casserole, what's really gonna make it stand out from the rest is that we're gonna be pan roasting all of our veg. And by pan roasting, I mean using our cast iron skillet and developing color and flavor and texture on those vegetables. Next, we're gonna be using a secret ingredient, which is gonna be quinoa, which is gonna add a great complexity and nuttiness to this dish as well as texture. So let's start by getting the vegetables chopped and getting them into our pan. So we have our cast iron skillet here. We're gonna be heating it up to high heat and we're gonna be charring our broccolini. We're using broccolini instead of broccoli because it's gonna have a little bit more delicate flavor. We're not gonna cook it all the way because it's gonna cook when we put it in the oven. We're just gonna develop some nice color and flavor on the broccolini. Next, we're gonna be searing our mushrooms. We're gonna sear them on high heat. Once they develop a nice color and char, we're gonna add some shallots, garlic, and some thyme. Quick tip, when you're searing vegetables, you don't want to move them around too much. So you put them in the pan and let them be for a few minutes and then give them a stir. And then also, when you're searing mushrooms, you want to develop a nice color first and then season with salt after. Because if you season with salt too soon, it'll bring out the water and then the water will allow them not to sear correctly. Now we're going to be making a roux. The roux is equal parts butter and flour. This is what's going to thicken up our sauce for our casserole. So now let's turn the heat on to a medium-low heat. Next, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. We're just going to let this melt first. Once the butter is melted, we're going to add the flour and cook it until it's golden brown. So once the roux gets to be golden brown, we're gonna add some garlic we're gonna also add our onions. We're gonna cook these for around 6 to 7 minutes until they develop some color. Now we're going to deglaze with 1/4 cup of white wine and scrape any of those brown bits up. Next we're going to add 3/4 cup of milk. You want to turn the heat down to low. And we're also going to add 1/2 cup of vegetable stock. Next we're going to be adding some Gouda and some extra sharp cheddar cheese. Then we're going to bring it to a simmer and let it thicken. Our casserole sauce has thickened up nicely. I set it aside and now we're going to cook the quinoa. 2 important tips on cooking quinoa correctly. Number 1, you want to rinse it, and number 2, you want to toast it in the pan with some olive oil to develop its flavor. Quinoa has a nice nutty flavor when you toast it. Once our quinoa is toasted, we're going to add our stock and bring it to a simmer. Next, we're going to add 2 eggs. Then we're going to put it in a preheated oven at 350 degrees for around 25 minutes. So our casserole has been cooking for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. We're going to take it out and we're going to add some leftover brioche bread, and we toss it with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and some fresh thyme. And now we're just gonna layer it on top and we're gonna put it in the oven so the breadcrumbs can crisp up. So the broccoli casserole came out really nice. You can really smell the herbs and the aromatics. So let's give it a taste and see how it came out. The broccolini still has its crunch left. You have great texture from the quinoa. The cheeses come through nicely. We use really good Gouda and sharp cheddar. And my dog is addicted to cheese. So anytime there's anything with cheese, he's right there and he wants to bite. You want to try some, Nova? Here's a piece of broccoli. And that's a good boy, yes. How is it? Yummy, right? Cheese in it. Right here. What's that? Yeah, good boy. Yeah, this really came out great. If you guys want to make a version that's an unhealthy version of this, definitely omit the quinoa. And you can also add Ritz crackers on top if you wanted, if you didn't have like brioche, which is completely fine. This has great flavor and texture though, and you guys are really gonna enjoy this recipe. Very good balance of flavors. You can taste everything, which is really nice. Not overpowering, and it's a pretty light dish, so you can eat it pretty often and feel not guilty. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you guys make it, and also leave a comment below if there's something that you guys want us to make, and we'll be happy to make it. See you guys on the next one.